Welcome to Shortcuts to Mastery. I'm your host, Maria Henning, and in my universe, life is for growth and time is for bending. So hop in, my friend, buckle up, and let's get into it. Hi, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited for you to hear this episode. I recorded this 2 days ago, and in this episode, I share with you all the things that I've been up to for the last 8 weeks or so since I recorded the last episode, which includes December 2023, moving, leaving Boston, Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff. And then January 2024, which includes my 30th birthday and a recent workshop I went to and all this fun stuff. And in the episode, I talked about how there were some moments like during my birthday that I recorded and other moments. And as I was editing this, I thought, how fun would it be if I shared with you the raw audio of those moments? So as you hear the episode, you'll hear me from 2 days ago, late January, telling the story of the past 8 weeks. And then you'll also get to hear some raw audio from those exact moments too, which will be so fun. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you enjoy hearing and getting a sneak peek into what I've been up to in my little Heidi hermit hole, and getting to hear about all the things that I've been up to. So can't wait for you to hear it. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you at the end. What's up, my friend? Welcome back to the Shortcuts to Mastery podcast. I'm so excited. It's been like forever. This is going to be a massive recap episode because I haven't put anything out since November when I had my interview with Rachel Lieberman, which you should definitely go listen to. But hi, Happy New Year. Welcome back. It's so good to be here. I have so many things to update you on. Currently, I am in Houston, in my childhood bedroom, in my childhood closet, new studio, new closet, with my dog curled up next to me and my friend Nikki on Zoom as we are co-working. So it's just such a fun, cozy, it's late night on a Friday. And there's so many things going on right now in my business, but I feel like I can't really get into the swing of things before recording this episode and just giving you a full recap on everything that's happened, New Year's, Christmas, all that stuff. And yeah, and where we're at now. So let's chat about it. So I recently moved from Boston. I recently left Boston. So I haven't moved to anywhere. I'm actually in my #digital nomad era, but I left Boston. I left my apartment on December 14th. And those last 2 weeks of December, the first 2 weeks for me of December, I guess, but the last 2 weeks that I was in Boston, which were in December, were some of the most magical weeks ever. It was so special. Some of the highlights were had one of my best friends, Katie Irvin, who runs Sort of Spiritual and is also, she's a human design teacher in particular, came and visited me. She was flying to Toronto from Bali, but made a pit stop in Boston to come and hang out and be there for my going away party, which was so special. Hosted my last full moon hangout in Boston as well. I have a whole episode planned for you about my experience of creating community in Boston. It's something that I've talked about a couple of times and also have asked you if you've wanted and have had people request. They want to know, how did I create so much community in Boston? How did I make friends as an adult, as a complete floater, with nothing tying me to the city, and end up leaving the city with a quite flourishing social community, which I still keep in contact with today, as I am right now on Zoom with a friend of mine. So, who's doing a happy dance. Anyway, so I have so much to say about that, but the whole highlight of that experience for me with the last 2 weeks of leaving Boston, it felt like a total reaping of what I sowed, you could say, in terms of the community that I had built there, because I got to host my last full moon thing. One of the things that I did when I was in Boston is I hosted full moon circles every single full moon. I think I maybe took 2 or 3 full moons off while I was there for the 2 years that I was there, and partly because I would be out of town or something like that. I was very consistent with the hosting. So I got to host my last one. It was so special. I have some professional pictures from it because earlier that day I'd had my friend Danielle over for a photo shoot of me and also the apartment, so she stayed for the full moon thing. We met through those as well, and she got to photograph them, and that was super special. And yeah, and then Katie came in town, we dicked around Boston, it was awesome, and then got to host a little going away party for myself as well, which was so nice. Again, one last like final host in my space. I really created that space for hosting, and I'll just save the details for the friend episode, the community episode, we could say. And yeah, it was just so much fun. Hi, it's me from the future / present. Remember when I said I wanted to include some raw audio? Well, this is one of those places. I forgot to mention while I was recording this, because I was speaking so fast and trying to get through everything, that one of the things that made the final host, my going away party, so special was that one of my friends, Erin, created an experience for me that I had always wanted to have. She didn't know that I had always wanted to have it, but she did that for me, which was so touching, which was to create a love shower for me, which is essentially when everyone there goes around and shares something nice about you. And like I said, I record this stuff, and because I know I'm going to want to listen to it later and I want to be present in the moment. I sort of like black out during those experiences. So it's nice to have things on audio. And again, just thought it would be so nice to like bring you into an intimate moment, with permission, of course. Enjoy some of these small moments of sweet things that my friends shared about me during my going away party in Boston. Have fun.
About her and maybe something you appreciate.
Oh my gosh, Erin is so cute.
That's no pressure.
You can kick it off.
I'll
No,
start.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
I'll start. I've gotten to meet a lot of lovely people on top of getting to meet Maria over the past 6 months or so. Yeah. And that's been a real gift, and I wish we could have more of you, but you have your own travels to go on. So I know you're going to crush it over the course of all that.
Thank you. Very sweet. I'm glad to hear it.
Just
that you can do something about Maria that you love or appreciate about her. Yeah.
Like how pretty I am. Things. I've never won how pretty you are. We're soon. Something I really appreciate you is that you're just like a boss. Like I feel so, like co-working with you is really inspiring for me, because I feel like you are just like so, I don't know, in your like confidence with your work and stuff. And I feel like it inspires me to be more in my own confidence with my work and be like, I'm going to do what I want to do and like change it up if I need to. Yeah.
I feel the same way about you. I'm always like, Rachel's actually working. I'm like, I want to chat. Thank you. It's been so fun to co-work with you these last couple months. Thank you. No pressure.
Maria, you're just like the most welcoming, warm, loving, understanding, and like empowering person. And I haven't even known you for that long, and I feel like I've known you forever. So yeah, hello, my heart.
And PGIS forever.
Yeah.
I just feel like you're so bold. Like, you're just so boldly yourself, and I've really needed to be around people that are boldly themselves this year, because I feel like I've been trying to practice being seen and being not controversial, but I'm always afraid to sound controversial. I always want to come off as like open-minded and accepting, and you have this really good way of balancing like being bold and being yourself, but still making people feel like accepted, and they can be whoever they want. So oh my god, I'm gonna like tear.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm like gonna get periods.
Blame it on that. And so yeah, I really only know like one other person in my life that's like that, and they also just came into my life this year. So you're really like my second big expander in that boldness, and I feel like it's just magical timing with same thing. Like you guys have been such expanders for me, as quitting my job and being an entrepreneur. And I feel like you don't like I don't hate to use the word gatekeep, but like you always like freely share all your information on what you've learned from being an entrepreneur. And I feel like sometimes people, I don't know, feel the need to like keep their success a secret for some reason. And I've always felt like you find joy in sharing.
I do. Thank you. That was really sweet. Thank you so much.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I'm like Thanks. Probably not.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go next. We met in March, which was like not that long ago, but it feels like I've known you for like so long. Like
I know, right?
And like you were just super inviting, like from the get go, like bringing me into the group and like making me feel super welcome, which I always appreciate. I think we just had like a lot of good times together, and like you've always been there for me and always give good advice.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna miss all of our walks, my friend. Rachel's my hot girl walk. Like, yeah, T by the sea. Oh my God, we fuck up that place. Yeah, love you. Thank you.
I think you're one of like the bravest people I know. First of all, you embarking on this journey is like so brave to me because I know I would never have the guts to do that. So I always like look at you and I'm just like, wow, she is killing it. But also I think one of my favorite things about you is just like how passionate you are about everything that you do. And we've had like so many conversations about this.
Yeah.
Even though like a lot of the times I have no idea what you're talking about in terms of like your art and like everything that you're creating, but I'm like, I love hearing about it because I like to just I like watching people be like passionate. It's,
Yes.
I think that's how we connect.
Yeah.
But also you were my first friend in Boston, and honestly, I think you're a big reason that I love Boston, and you changed Boston for me because I was so lonely before we met.
Don't worry, I was too.
I know, we talked about this, but
Thank you.
I am really gonna miss you.
No, I'm gonna miss this too. Thank you. That was very sweet.
Well, you're also my very first friend here in Boston.
That's right.
So it's been a while. I feel like you're
a long
actually
time.
the reason I stayed. I feel like you're always like pushing me. I'm glad that I met you. But something else, like I love that you're always like pushing me. I love that. I feel like you're the reason I'm like more open to feelings. I feel like I never knew how to like express myself, and I feel like all of our like when it was only like 3 of us and we would have like the moon parties, I feel like it was just like therapy.
It was fucking
Like
nice.
it was like I don't know. I just like really love like I like it that there's like more people coming in, but like when it was just like the 3 of us, like we didn't have any other friends.
And it was just us pulling cards.
It was just like literally like group. I feel like I was like going to group therapy. I liked it. And it was just like I loved it.
Yeah, so special.
I'm really gonna miss you. So
I miss you too.
But
I picked Ollie up in the gym one day.
I remember you telling me that.
I did. I was like, I made a friend. Oh my God.
well, she's also the reason why I decided to like my Equinox membership.
Yeah.
Somebody to hang out with. Because at that time I still had like a trial. Remember?
Yeah.
And we were like,
and I was like, please do it. Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Just influencing all the memberships.
I was also kind of desperate to have friends, but
Yeah.
But you're definitely a big influencer. Definitely.
Thank you.
I appreciate our friendship so much. Happy to be in the same time zone for a little while. But I really appreciate your capacity to like trust your intuition with this. I know there's a lot of sadness for you for like leaving. I don't know why this is making me emotional.
Just our red auras right now.
Our auras right now. But yeah, like I know this is a big deal for you to leave. You've built such a beautiful community here, but I appreciate your courage and your willingness to trust yourself on your next adventure.
Thank you. You're such a big part of that too.
I've been in Boston for 11 years, and you're also my first friend here.
I mean, relatable for the Boston experience, so that's a real thing. That was awesome.
No, I mean, I do have friends here, but I also I did feel lonely though prior to meeting like you and the TDM community, but you were the first in the TDM world of people that I met, and I remember the first day I walked into your house, like I love you have such good style, you've set such a good tone and vibe in your environment, in your space, and I know you and I are very conscious of that, so like I really appreciate your ability to like set the tone, the music, the like all the things, the snacks, but also just the way you're welcoming, like the way you welcome people in, it's just immediate. I feel like as soon as I walked in your door, I felt like at home. Like there was no like getting to know you period, like it was like immediately us jumping into chatting, and like it felt easy. Like there was no filter, but no judgment, and like just there was a freedom in your energy. And I want to just like repeat everything like you guys said, like the bravery, the courage, the like confidence you embody and like exude. I'm just like, oh, I want to be around her vibe, like, because it's like, you know me, I'm like half in my world of like, and I'm so like not jumping and not leaping like you guys are, and it's like, so I like, there's so many things I can say that I appreciate about you. One of the things that sticks out to me is like yes, you have that boss energy, but you also have this like very gentle, like loving, warm, nurturing, mothering energy as well. And there was this, when we were all here doing shrooms, Rachel was still like in her experience, but like there was something that tender that came up for me because I had a hard thing happen to me, and I shared it, and you just like wrapped your arms around me, and like it was just such a like, sometimes I don't receive support well, or even like comfort well, and like it was effortless receiving it from you because it just felt genuine and honest, and like you just, and I think I also love the way you can like, when I'm trying to articulate something, like you can just, you're like, I know what you're saying, and like you can like she can like she's my translator, she can like say it and like spit it out in a way that I'm like, yeah, exactly, thank you. So you make me feel seen, heard, loved, and I think you're just a beautiful person inside and out, and I'm really, really, really gonna miss you.
Oh, likewise. And that's also one of my favorite moments. We all did shrooms, and they were having a beautiful experience, and I was throwing up demons in the toilet.
She was having a horrific
I was having a really intense. No, it was great. It was great. It was
but
just
in
fucking intense.
But in the meantime, she was like putting up a blanket on Rachel and like being so like loving while she was having a terrible like psychedelic experience.
I was dying.
Having an exorcism.
I was having a full-on exorcism. Yeah, it was great. Thank you for that.
I feel like the big word that keeps coming up is open. I'm like, okay, what is it about open? But it's like all of it: welcoming, bold, intuitive, like all of it together. I always think of like, oh my gosh, how do we even like meet? Because I am also like in Boston, and knowing that it's not like easy to kind of navigate like the new friendships and stuff.
Yeah, it's real.
And I was like, when we met, I was like, okay, I'll see you. I was like, I know, like I knew it wasn't like a one time like, okay, cool, see ya.
Right.
It was kind of like, I'll be over there. And I was like, it was so, I'd say more like deeper than welcoming, just kind of like real.
Thank you.
And I think that's like just so amazing. There was no act. It was just kind of like, yeah, I'll see you. So that's really beautiful. You know what I mean?
So much.
So,
Thank you.
and it's something you don't always appreciate, you know, if you don't take the time to like look, but this was like really lovely. Thank you. But yeah, it felt real, and I'm here. And it's real. I'm like, it's happening.
So, oh my god! And the other moment I loved though is our emo night experience.
Oh my god, that was so good. That was a great time.
So there was we were both separately there, and like she had texted me being like, oh, are you going? Like she had texted me randomly as like a separate question, and I was like, oh yeah, and then like, but I'm at this emo concert thing, and then like I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually want to go down to the pit, and like I brought my friend down there, and like I look over and I see Maria and Nikki
was here,
and I was like, oh my god, and like it was just such a fun day because then we were just like shouting in each other's faces, like singing emo songs, and then we got COVID.
My wrist and black my eyes.
We got COVID, and then like
we got COVID
together.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway,
that was a great night. Thank you for initiating this. Thank you all so much for being so kind and sweet. This was such a dream, and this space has really, like, I really created this space for like community and like people and coming together. And I definitely, like, when I went to school here, and when I came back, I was like, it's gonna be really hard to meet people because I had already had that experience. And I was in my head about like, oh, and I'm an entrepreneur and there's no one here like me, and you know, and all this shit. And then I fucking met all of you amazing spiritual people that I'm like so connected with. And then I found like family like in my apartment, and like these like what I wanted when I moved here was to reconnect with close friends that went to school here. And I was like, I just want to like, I don't want to go out. I just want to like, hey girl, come over, sit on my couch and like chat while I clean, you know? And I met all of you amazing people, and like, this has been, first of all, has raised the bar so much on like what connection really can be, you know? Like I didn't realize how important it was for me to have like fucking like sisterhood, like where I fucking live, like a village. Like I will never again in my life go without this. Like this
this is how I think we're supposed to live as humans. I don't think we're meant to be. I think we're meant to barter dishwasher pods for laundry pods. Because like I don't want to fucking buy dishwasher pods right now. You know, it's like I know that we're meant to have that kind of support. And then just to meet all of you, my TBM friends, has been so expansive. For like, there are the people like me, even in cities where this is like kind of unusual, that we're like into this like spiritual entrepreneurship like
but
kind
when
of
you come
world.
back from volume queers, Boston's gonna be the spiritual
it's gonna be the
capital.
epicenter. We're gonna manifest it. And
We're gonna make it.
we're gonna do it. No,
We're gonna get on the TVN podcast and they're gonna be like, you have 30 people come to your new moons, and we're gonna be like, yeah.
honestly, we're fucking crushing it. They should pay us for this shit, okay? The amount of work that we do. No, but I can't. It's hard to express how special all of this has been, and just to like have people consistently come to my house and like to engage in these chats where I force you all to sit in a circle and chat about cards and moons, and like I've like dreamed about this kind of stuff. So and it was way better than in my dreams to meet all of you, like because all of you are actually real people and not like fake fantasies. So thank you all much. Are they? I don't know. I guess we're all tripping. Maybe they were just brazen drums. But the brain that's in this jar is really happy and really like touched to have met all of you. And thank you for saying such nice words about me and coming to all my stuff and supporting me and being so great and eventually taking all my plants. Thank you all so much. I love you guys.
How freaking heart melting was that? I absolutely adore everyone that spoke, everyone who was there, and there were some people who weren't even able to make it, so miss them so much as well. But yeah, so sweet. Thank you, Erin, for creating that experience for me. I really, really appreciate that. You didn't know that it was something that I had always wanted to experience, but you tapped in, you tuned in, and created that for me. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And let's hop back to past Maria from 2 days ago, telling you the story of the last 8 weeks of my life. Enjoy. And then after she left, my mom came in town for a few days to help me move. And then I had a few more days. I had like about 5 days left in between my mom leaving and my flight. And every single day I had one of my friends come and spend the whole day with me, like helping me pack, including Nikki, who's on Zoom with me right now, bringing things to the storage unit. I left some stuff in storage in Boston, driving me around, moving furniture, packing things. I mean, the way that people showed up for me was so sweet and like very humbling and like just, yeah, adorable. And was just absolutely wonderful. So really, really cool going away experience from Boston. I actually still have my like nail set. If you don't know me, I love nail art and I've been getting pretty aggressive nail art for the last couple of years that I've been in Boston, and I still have my nails from like 6 weeks ago, which are a nail set that is like dedicated to my apartment. So my left side, my left hand is all plants. I haven't even posted them. Oh, this is why I like need to record this episode. There's so many things I need to post on the internet about all the dumps. But anyway, my left hand is these like beautiful plants for my indoor jungle. That was my apartment. And then my right hand is the ocean view that I had with seagulls, which is fun because on my right wrist I have a seagull tattoo. So, and not like a seagull that is like anatomically correct. I'm talking about the little like winged line that we used to draw as kids. That is what is on my wrist. I will post pictures of it on Instagram, so go and check that out. But yeah, so I still have that. And then that was like maybe like a week before I left. And then 6 hours before my flight, I went and I got a tattoo to commemorate my time in Boston, which is the inside of an oyster shell. I didn't heal it super well, so it doesn't look as great as it did when I first got it because I kind of screwed up a little bit, but I'm still obsessed with it and officially now have 4 tattoos, which is so much fun. So I left Boston, and I left Boston specifically to continue to get closer to more community in my career, specifically spiritual entrepreneurship. And I can do a whole episode on leaving Boston not leaving Boston, but what I'm going towards. So If you're curious about that, let me know. I'm probably going to record one anyway, because that is like the next chapter of my life as a digital nomad, moving around chapter, including places like Bali and Australia, but also California and some things like that. Currently I'm in Houston, but I'll explain my whole travel situation maybe in another episode. Maybe it'll come up again organically in this episode. But yeah, that was my December, or rather the first half of my December was leaving Boston. So if you were wondering if I live in Boston anymore, I do not. So December 14th, 2023, last time in Boston, which, so fun. I'm going to miss it. And it feels like the next right step. So that was my December. Landed in Houston. So I grew up in Houston, if you don't remember. I'm from Venezuela originally, moved to Houston when I was 7. My parents are here. One of my brothers is here. And so whenever we get together for holidays, we all come to Houston typically. So I'm in Houston, fly to Houston on December 14th. 2.5 days later, all 6 of us, me and my parents and my 3 brothers, plus 2, my 2 little brothers' girlfriends, so 8 of us, the whole Henning clan flew to Mexico City for 6 days. So we needed to go to Mexico City because there's no diplomatic relationship between the US and Venezuela, and our Venezuelan passports are expired. So we had to go to Mexico City to get them renewed. So that's why we went, and we made a fun trip out of it. Some highlights including going to a fucking lucha libre fight, which was hysterical. I've never laughed that hard in my life. And here's the thing about, like, one of the things I'm so grateful for is that as a family, we're all very close, and my brothers are hysterical. And so are my parents. And so we just have such a fucking blast together. And also my little brother's girlfriends have been in the family for so long. I mean, the one, my brother right after me and his girlfriend just celebrated 10 years together. And they've known each other since they were like 12. So they've been together forever. And then my youngest brother and his girlfriend have been together for like 7.5 years. So yeah, we love them. We're a tight-knit clan, and we just have such a blast together. So we had a great time. We always have, the girls' room, and, just spending time with my little brother's girlfriends is always so much fun. What else? Any other highlights? Yeah, this is where I kind of screwed up my tattoo healing process. I left the wraps on for a little too long. I left them until like the very end of how long you're supposed to leave them, and didn't realize that it was starting to get a little bit irritated, and then it was just really impossible to get the glue off, and it was really hard to find like antibacterial soap. So it was just a fucking nightmare, and now it looks a little bit wonky. But you know what? I think that sort of tells the story of the tattoo, that I, in a very unhinged way, scheduled it like a week in advance, even though I knew I wanted to get an oyster for so long. I can talk about an oyster in a second. Why an oyster? But yeah. And then got it 6 hours before my last flight, which I almost missed. Which, oh my God, I didn't mention, I brought 6 of my plants on the plane with me and flew with them. And then I went immediately to Mexico City and healed it in a wonky way. So that's the story of that tattoo, which I love. But yeah, why did I get an oyster? Really quick, if you're wondering. So a couple reasons. Number 1, I like the look of it. Number 2, I studied marine science at Boston University, and Boston to me has always been associated with oysters, just in general, because, New England, oysters, whatever, a thing to eat. I love oysters. And what was funny to me about loving oysters is that I always kind of joked that I wanted to become like an oyster sommelier. So someone who, can taste oysters like someone could taste wine, and talk about the brine content and talk about how creamy they are and and instead I actually ended up doing my senior thesis at Boston University on oysters, and specifically oyster aquaculture and their how they affect greenhouse gas cycling. So in a way I sort of became an oyster sommelier, or an expert in some way of oysters. And I can share some other time about leaving marine science, but often people ask if I still want to do it or whatever, because it was my passion for forever. I mean, first of all, I'm a manifesting generator, and I'm going to move on and go and do other things. But one of the reasons that the marine science chapter for me feels complete, even though it was like my entire life before I went to Boston, so like 20 years, is because my research in oyster aquaculture and their greenhouse gas cycling is published. So I feel like I actually like contributed to the field of science, which means I can close that chapter and move on. But yeah, so that's why an oyster. And we had a great time in Mexico City. My little brother, like the younger one, the one right after me, and his girlfriend have the same birthday. So we celebrated their birthday in Mexico City, which was so much fun. But then we flew back to Houston on December 23rd at 6 p.m. So it was just like immediately Christmas. We like landed and then immediately went to Target to like buy some last minute gifts. And then it was immediately New Year's Eve, listen to me, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And it was so much fun. Great time. We have some close family here, my aunt and my cousins, on my mom's side. And so we spent Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with them. It was so special. And one of my cousins has kids now. And so, you know, I have little nephews, well, a niece and a nephew, newborn niece, that we got to spend her first Christmas with and my nephew's second Christmas with. So super special, but obviously very busy. And then there's like that void space. And during this time I had informed my students and maybe you on Instagram, I'm not sure, but definitely my students that I would be taking that time off. I would be taking like moving Christmas and the week after New Year's like off, because that void time is just so like important. I don't know, just to rest and like chill. So during that sort of void between Christmas and New Year's, my older brother, who is in formation to be a priest, was in town, and my youngest brother, who lives out in California, was in town. So all 6 of us were in town. We did like a Studio Ghibli marathon. So we watched a ton of Miyazaki movies. So much fun. What else? I feel like we did a bunch of other really fun stuff. I don't remember, but lots of fun activities, hanging out with the cousins a bunch. It was great. And then New Year's happened. And this New Year's was a particularly special New Year's to me. New Year's is like a sacred time to me. I mean, it's Capricorn season. It's new beginnings. I'm a right angle cross of penetration, the 4th variation. So my Capricorn sun is 54. The pairing partner to 53 is 53, which is the gate of new beginnings. So new beginnings to me are like such a vibe. Like I love the beginning of something. I love, which makes sense because then the gift of 54 is aspiration. So it's like you love what it could aspire to become. You love the possibility of it all. And I have possibility view. So anyway, so New Year's is like a sacred time to me. And I've always just spent it with my family because New Year's is a very like family holiday in Venezuela. You get dinner, you go party with your family, you stay up until midnight. We have a lot of Venezuela has so many like superstitious traditions for New Year's. You know, you drink your champagne, you eat the 12 grapes, but you also want to like wear yellow underwear for good luck, and you want to like run around with an empty suitcase so you can travel that year. And if you're an unmarried woman, you want to jump from high to low so that you're not like single for 7 years or whatever. It's just like so many my friend Nikki on Zoom was like, what the fuck? There's just like so many random like superstitious things, which I love. And I've always wanted to, on like the first day of the year, particularly also like at midnight, like I find that the exact time of things is like very like mystical and magical to me. I've always wanted to be doing something like particularly special and interesting at midnight. And also on the first day of the year, I've always wanted to like go to a class for setting New Year's intentions. Something about setting goals, if it's like self-led, I don't know why I like don't like enjoy it as much. I think it's because I'm a generator and I want something to respond to, and just writing down my goals feels like initiating and it doesn't feel that good. So I've always wanted someone to ask, you know, what do you want to do or whatever. Anyway, so I've always wanted to go to a class for that. And so a few months ago, I was looking around for things I wanted to do at midnight, and I was like, a concert. That's what I want to do. Like concerts are like my temple, you know, like going to a concert, taking a little edible, getting out of the way and just dancing and like getting into that trance-like state is just like is so important to me. I have so many things to say about music and movement. I think I did a whole episode on this and like embodiment with music and sound like one of my first episodes, so go listen to that. But I'll do another one about music specifically, and also like why my spirit animal, my soul animal rather, would make this to be true as well. I need to do a whole episode on the soul animal too. Oh my god, so many things to say. But yeah, anyway, so I booked a concert. That's what I wanted to do at New Year's, and I found an amazing festival in San Diego. And in San Diego, I have a lot of community because of the spiritual entrepreneurial work. Yes, because that's what I do now. And so there's a lot of us, a lot of like-minded folks in San Diego. And one of my longtime clients, who is amazing, her name is Dr. Chloe. Go follow her on Instagram. I'll link her below, who lives in San Diego. And when I booked that festival, I messaged her, told her, hey, let's meet up. And I also said, hey, I would love to do a sort of class like this. Let me know if you're doing something like that, or if you know of anything or whatever. I think a few weeks later she found something, and it was the like perfect fit. It was a sound healing. So it was like a 3-hour session. So the first thing was a sound healing session, which I'm obsessed with. Number 2 was a meditation. After that was an intention setting, like journaling thing that was guided by someone else, which is again exactly what I was wanting. And then it was an ecstatic dance party. And it was also at this like beautiful yoga studio space. It also had a cafe. I forget what it's called now. Oh, Trilogy Sanctuary in like La Jolla. Amazing. You should go check it out if you're in San Diego ever at any point. But they had this whole like, New Year's Rise event, and it was fucking amazing. So that's what I did for New Year's. So I had booked the concert like in October or something like that, but I didn't book my flight or my hotel until December 29th, like literally 2 days before this event was. So quite unhinged, quite mani-gen. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go because I was like, I don't know, I'm having such a good time with my family. It's nice to be in Houston. And then I was like, no, I need to be like on the dance floor, for midnight. So anyway, my San Diego trip was so much fun. It was quite a magical experience. The concert was absolutely amazing. I got adopted by the funnest group of people on the dance floor. I go to concerts a lot by myself, and I will either commit to like a full solo if I'm going by myself and just like spend the night dancing by myself. But I at least try to, this is very defined spleen, right? I at least try to find a group of people to dance around who like seem safe and who at least acknowledge my existence, so that if something happens to me, someone could possibly see it. Or I try to like get adopted by a little rave group. So I got adopted by a fun rave group. It was so much fun. We spent 2 days together. It was great. Really amazing, kind-hearted group of people. It was amazing. And yeah, I got to hang out with Chloe the next day. Got to go to that class on the 1st, hang out with Chloe on the 2nd. It was amazing. So that was my New Year's. And it was really magical because I had always wanted to do that for New Year's and finally got to do it. And I totally forgot to mention, I'm remembering right now, that I got recognized by a follower on the fucking dance floor, which is insane. I call it a dance floor, but it was a fucking baseball field. It was the music festival was at Petco Park Field in San Diego. And a lot happened on my San Diego trip that is just too much to get into at the moment, but one of my highlights of that trip, it's a very magical, very synchronistic trip, but one of my highlights was getting recognized on the dance floor by a follower, or someone who follows me on Instagram. Her name is Caitlin. If you're listening, hi. It was so nice to meet you. It was so funny. I was just like dancing by myself, and like I was saying, trying to find like a good group of people to, kind of dance around. And eventually like 2 girls were just sort of next to me because I was sort of in the passing lane. And I eventually noticed that one of them has like turned their full body to face me. And I was like, what is happening? Why is she looking at me? Do I look crazy? What's going on? And she just sort of reached her hand out and was like, hey, is your name Maria Henning? And I was like, yes. How do you know me? And she was like, I follow you on Instagram. And we freaked out and took a picture, and it was fucking awesome. So Caitlin, it was so nice to meet you. You made my night. It was so cool to get recognized on the Hayden Jones set. Hayden Jones? Is that what his name was called? I don't fucking know. On December 31st, 2023. My first ever being recognized from my community in person. That was so cool and so special. And I had so many moments after that. I really had like a lot of I experienced quite a bit of like empathy for like famous people, because the rest of the night I was just like acting silly and just like, being high and dancing and whatever. And I would like have these moments of like sort of sobering up and being like, oh my God, am I being perceived right now? Because I had just had someone recognize me. Here I am thinking that I'm just a totally anonymous person and I can just go and be silly, out in Petco Park and just dance my ass off to all my favorite artists. And someone here knows actually who I am. So I was like, wow, I really get like the sort of like double-edged sword of fame that fame can be when you lose that anonymity, and everywhere you go people might recognize you and might take photos of you and post them. It's like, wow, I experienced nothing of that, just the slightest bit of that, and it was only awesome and kind. But I just had a couple moments of being like, wow, okay, like this is what it could feel like actually. So anyway, but I fucking loved it. It was so cool to be seen. Caitlin, it was so nice to meet you. And yeah, I can't believe I forgot to mention that, but here you go. And then the two more big things. So the next sort of like big thing is that in between or after New Year's, there's another week void, which is the void between New Year's and my birthday, because my birthday is January 7th. And this year was my 30th birthday. So I had been looking forward to it for a while. I wasn't planning on it being in Houston initially, but it just happened to work out that way. There's definitely a part of me that's like, oh my God, spending it at home is like so lame. You should be like traveling and like whatever, just like Sag North Node nonsense. But yeah, so had that nice like week of time. Again, whole family was still in town, celebrated my birthday for a full weekend. I had my best friend Alicia come in town for my actual birthday, which was on Sunday. And it was just like a great fucking time. It was awesome. One of the things that I love about Alicia is that whenever there's like a dinner or some sort of like eating situation where someone is being celebrated, she likes to go around and ask everyone questions to like have sort of like a more focused discussion. And we did it for her 30th birthday too. And the question she asked for my family like birthday brunch were so funny. The first was, what was the first one? What was your favorite age to be? So like, just thinking of ages and turning birthdays and whatever. What was your favorite age to be? How would you describe your ideal 30s? And then what was your first impression of Maria? Which is hysterical because my brothers were all like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, I met her when I was born, or my parents being like, she was a baby. I have no idea. So the answers were so funny. They were hysterical. I recorded the whole thing. So the first person that went was one of my little brother's girlfriends. I forget what she said, but she said something very sweet. She said that I did seem like we could actually become friends and that I was actually cool. And I was like, oh good, I want you to think I'm cool. My brother, his girlfriend, said that his first impression of me was being an adrenaline fiend, because one of his first like core memories with me is going on the Hulk roller coaster like a million times in a row because we had a fast pass. And I was like, what a hilarious like memory to have of me. And there's like this legendary story in my family of how I went on one of the scariest roller coasters of all time at like 6 years old, because I had like never gone. I didn't know what it would actually be like, and my parents let me go on it. And so like that was like his association of me is that I went on this roller coaster when I was 6, and then we like were going on the Hulk a million times a few years later and whatever. And like his like association of me is like this, what did he say? He was like, Maddie doesn't give a fuck. She like is like this adrenaline monster and like, is brave and like courageous or whatever. And I was like, this is so fun. I love this. I forget what my youngest brother said, other than he had this like impression of me as like being very determined. I don't remember exactly why, but yeah, it was hysterical. We had a great time. It was so much fun. Hi, I'm back to share some more raw audio of these moments. My 30th birthday brunch is another one of the moments that was just so sweet. A little bit different than a love shower, more of these like fun questions like I was talking about that Alicia created. And yeah, I want to bring you into my 30th birthday brunch, starting with Quinn, my younger brother Santi's girlfriend of 10 years, sharing her first impression of me. These stories are so funny. And to begin with, this is just like hysterical. So enjoy.
First impression of Maria, I feel like
When was it? Like 10
I was like
years ago?
16 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew of you since I was like 13.
Right.
But I feel like boyfriend's older sister, you're like, ooh, like I want her to like me. But I was really happy because like you actually seemed cool.
All right, we'll take it.
Yeah.
And because I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, maybe she's scary or whatever. It's like, oh no, like she seems super chill, cool, which checks out because like without Santi in the equation, like I still feel like we would be friends, which is really nice.
Santi, you're
Yeah, get out of this relationship.
By the way,
We don't need you.
Yeah.
oh no, I lost the thing. But yeah,
In the equation.
Oh, that's so sweet. I thought I would be like intimidating, so that's
no, I don't think your dad.
okay. So amazing. I wasn't intimidating, like I was saying, and absolutely love Quinn. We have so much fun together. Next, you're gonna hear my younger brother Santi's first impression of me. He's the brother right after me, so I'm second in the lineup. He's number 3. We have a younger brother after that, and then an older brother, and then I share the roller coaster story that I was telling you about. There's quite a bit of background audio, so ignore the potential, music and possible babies crying, and have so much fun. Enjoy.
What's your first impression of Maria?
My first impression of Maria, I actually have no idea.
Like when you were a kid.
I can't even think of that.
What's like the earliest
Yeah.
impression you can remember?
I'm honestly trying to think, and I think the earliest thing that I can think of, honestly, is Maria just being like a roller coaster fiend. Like that one time we went to Disney, or we went to Universal, and we were with, I don't know who the hell we were with.
Like Sudi, I think.
No, it was like the daughter of Beatriz, maybe like some Beatriz, like I don't know. We were with some other girl that was like around Maddie's age, and the 3 of us, we had the fast pass.
You were double rocking that.
And we just went and did Hulk, we did the Incredible Hulk like 9 times.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
And that was when I remember also hearing about Maddie doing like the whole like slingshot thing. Dude. It was like, holy shit, Maddie's crazy.
No, the slingshot, it was in Cancun. You have like a big
No. I know that wasn't then. I'm saying like, if
he learned about
that is the honestly probably not actually the earliest memory that I have of Maddie, but that's the only thing I can think of right now of being like,
Wow.
holy shit, Maddie.
I'm just a roller coaster. I'm just an
Maddie doesn't give
adrenaline
a
monster. Yeah, Maddie doesn't give a. Okay, so
that's crazy.
we went to Cancun and we went to Xcaret. Yeah, when I was like 6. What was Xcaret?
Breaking news.
Anyway, it was in.
I mean, I know the question.
We went to Mexico and we had like gone. I do remember that we went to some sort of dolphin thing that day. That's why I thought it was in Xcaret.
It's an adventure kind of thing.
Sure.
That you had to go when it was like on a little. No, it was not.
No, but we met a dolphin that day.
We went to this thing that we had.
That sentence has never been said.
He was
before.
very nice.
This is very important.
Like at a boat.
We met a
That
dolphin
has like
that day.
Like you can
No.
see
So we
down.
saw a dolphin. Like,
No,
Nice to meet you.
no, we met a dolphin that day. This is very specific. So we met a dolphin. I got like a dolphin kiss or whatever. And then
there's
we
a
like
picture of that.
Yeah, and then we were just like on the boardwalk or something like that, and we went and we saw this like huge roller coaster thing. It was boardwalk. I think that's my first memory. That's the boardwalk that I was describing the other day.
I don't know that, but I just got another first impression.
Oh, cool.
When you were the pictures of you in Italy with Diego, I was like, oh my gosh, Santi, your sister's so
I
pretty.
know those
Photoshopped
pictures
ones.
exactly
Yeah.
because Diego and you look exactly like, and now you don't.
Oh,
And that
the
picture-
fedora ones?
Yes, the
Yes,
hat one.
like
Well,
it's
that's when
like
Pablo was
you're,
like-
you're looking
That
like
was
this with
Pablo's
camera. You guys
phase
look
0.
exactly alike.
Photographer Photoshop Pablo.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's
was
cool.
random,
That's
but I
so
just had to
funny.
say it.
Slingshot
Yeah, I
then?
love that.
What's the slingshot?
But yeah, so we were on this boardwalk, which now I'm like, remember, this is my first actual memory is walking on that boardwalk with you. That was the boardwalk. This is good. And there's this giant, like,
not about you.
slingshot that were these 2 huge metal arms. So imagine, like, I don't know, they're maybe like 75 feet off the ground, like
that's
this.
dramatic.
Yeah. And then, and then there's like a ball in the center with 2 seats in it, and they're like like with like huge elastics attached
Yes.
to
literally
the
like
machine.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
I'm getting
You know what?
stressed.
Yeah. It's called the rocket.
I can't believe you did that.
And so I was like,
Bro,
let's go. Let's get on it. And so we go. My mom, nobody wanted to do it except my mom.
She asked me, I said,
Absolutely not. So, and I had no idea I was 6. So I had no idea what we were getting into. We get into this thing, and the thing goes like this. It grabs the ball, and it just pulls you down, and then it just goes, whoosh, and the thing goes up, and it like spins, and it goes like up and
but
down.
there's an extra part to the story. That
Yeah. So hang on. Okay. So I was traumatized after that experience, but because of my bravery, I got from one of you a dolphin stuffed animal that day, and I named the dolphin Gaina because that was the name of the dolphin that we met that day.
That's cute.
And then later, I apparently said something that I don't remember that Mom is now going to share. So what did I?
so when you go into the platform for the launch,
I don't remember this
it's
part.
in Mexico, so the guy's like, oh, get a shot of, get a tequila shot or something. So I get the shot. Of course, they don't offer the shot to her.
Yep.
And she's the one that wants to go. Of course, you can see because they give you
They do a video,
the video of the thing. And we're like, so
I wish I had. I've never seen
It's
it.
like the American
she's
one.
crying and crying.
I'm like screaming.
Just like crazy.
I'm fully
I'm like,
traumatized.
you know, hanging on. So when she comes down and she's crying, she complains that she was crying because she didn't get like the magical shot.
Like that's why I was scared because I didn't get like the liquid courage.
They give you a magic shot and then you go up.
Because that's how they phrase it.
Yeah. You take the shot and you're happy. She's like, well, I was crying.
But I still have that dolphin to this day.
Yeah, it's Gaina. I know.
Yes.
There we go.
And yeah. Anyway,
That's adorable. That's so funny.
That's so funny.
That's a
your
good
first
impression, though. I'd be stressed out, too.
But he doesn't give a fuck. She's just a
Roller
adrenaline
coaster theme.
addict.
Slingshot. Yeah.
I know.
I do have a picture.
Oh man, these stories are so funny and they're so like legendary in my family. We retell these stories over and over again, so it's just so fun to like bring you into it and hear you share honestly quite an intimate part of my life. And I'm grateful, by the way, to my family who let me share this recording. They did not know I was recording these stories, by the way. I do this often. I don't tell people when they're telling funny, sentimental stories that I'm recording because I want to capture like the fullest, kind of rawest experience of it. So I told them afterwards they were happy I recorded the moments, and I asked them if I could share in case you were curious, and they all said yes. But yeah, that was Santi's first impression of me. Now we get into my youngest brother's first impression of me, Diego. Enjoy.
And then Maddie.
His first impression of Monterey, yeah. Okay, what's your first impression? Because you're like the youngest. You're like like the baby.
I'm trying to think of first impression.
You're like 4 years older than him, right?
Yeah, 4.
Okay,
I mean, it was definitely like some of like the adventure, like kind of vibe from Maddie. Obviously, being independent, like in some ways, like maybe negative. Like you maybe were kind of like isolated in your room, just kind of like doing your teenage girl things, like Tumblr, like whatever, all that shit.
Oh my gosh.
But also, it was also this like determination, like
Tumblr.
what?
I was like, you were in your teenage doing Tumblr.
I mean, you were kind of into that shit.
No. I mean, who was? I was in
Exactly.
Tumblr. Yeah. So funny.
But I think also just like, I don't know, also like the dancing, like you being super determined, and then like once we went to like SeaWorld and you knew you wanted to like
Be marine scientist.
Exactly, do all that shit. So it was kind of like that deterministic, kind of like badass like attitude that like I definitely looked up to an extent. Yeah.
Oh, you looked up to it.
Yeah, I still do. I don't have that commitment. I feel like sometimes.
Aw, this is so nice. I didn't know you guys thought of me this way. This is so nice. Truly, it's so nice. I really recommend you ask these questions to your family and get into conversations like this. They're so fun. Again, thank you, Alicia, for like creating this. But next, you'll hear just a very short moment. My older brother, Pablo, sharing his favorite age and just the funniest moment of the whole brunch. So have fun. Aw, this is so nice. I didn't know you guys thought of me this way. This is so nice. That's filming. All right, Pablo.
Ideal age? 5.
No, your favorite age.
Pablo, you can't say that anymore.
Your favorite age is 5?
I think I moved past. ideal age? That's not even close.
I got my Nintendo 64.
Favorite music?
Yeah, you're right, yeah. You got your Nintendo 64 when you were 5.
I mean, that's sick though.
What was that, 1997? Like,
I think so.
all the great Disney movies were like either out or about to be out. You know? Ocarina of Time came out the next year.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember I got the Nintendo 64 with
I still say my ideal age is 5, like once a week since this moment happened. So funny. What you'll hear next is my parents telling some stories about me, and what I find so interesting about these stories is that they're so like line 2 coded and just so, you know, everything about my chart, Capricorn stellium, Scorpio stellium, Aquarius rising, like it's just so funny. You'll hear stories of me as like a really, really young kid, starting with my mom. So have fun and like just from a fun perspective, enjoy them, but also from like a human design perspective, see if you can sort of catch some of the things that they're describing and how you would describe them. Okay, enjoy.
It was a hint.
Yeah.
Then I decided to put her in the same preschool that Pablo was. And she was a little younger for starting. She was not even 2. And then for
I've been in
him,
the schooling system since 1.5.
yeah,
I mean,
so
I do that too.
So the funny thing is that I would buy for both of them like stuff from Target, like little, or you know, like little t-shirts and shorts that would be the same for every day. Every single morning, she would have like a tantrum because she did not want to dress.
And she was not like not even 2.
She was not even 2.
That's crazy.
And the whole time, the whole year from, I don't know, a year and something to 2 years and something, it was a struggle, and I decided to change her to a school where she would only have to wear a uniform. That was it.
Solid. That's so funny.
So that's like a long first impression.
Which school
but
was it where you said I'm bored? Is the school?
the one with the
okay,
uniform.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you heard this story?
Yeah.
Oh, tell.
Okay, so she's in this school, which is the same school that I went to.
It was
but
like
not
a Catholic all-girls school.
Yeah,
A lot
very
of our
nice
family
and very small.
My sister went. My
And
aunt
I knew everybody from the director of the school to the guy in the cafeteria. So I felt very, I felt very comfortable. So I did not want to put her there because I don't know, like I wanted her to go through the same journey of the preschool that Pablo was. But then it became very difficult because it was a tantrum every single morning. And I would put her like 3 or 4 options to choose, and she would not want any. And I was not going to send her to preschool in a nice outfit. So she's there in something they call maternal, which is like when you're 2 to 3.
Pre-K.
Maternal.
No, it's even
Maternal. Después de,
Yeah, it's you're 3 years old and you're just chilling.
Yeah.
then they have pre-K and then they have K. So when she is in kindergarten, which is she's younger than everyone else because she's not even 5. So I guess she was always like super active and I don't know, annoying the teacher because she always had like a very strong will. And so I decided to take her to get a test if she was like ADHD, whatever. So before she does that, and I'm getting all these complaints from the teachers, she learned how to read on her own.
Wow, on my own?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
You picked
I
it up.
didn't know
You were
that.
like, ABC,
Well,
baby,
because you
whatever.
had your brother, you know, like you wanted.
I like love to read. I remember like wanting to read books.
Yeah.
Like,
And
as
she
a
always-
kid.
But doesn't mean you just
And
know
you
how to
also
learn.
wanted,
But I do
you
remember-
also wanted to have homework.
Yeah,
And
I
so
remember
for
that too.
him, the homework was very easy. Like it was very structured. In this school, they didn't get it right, so they would give you. So you got super bored, and so one day, like they moved her through all the different, like little tiny groups of 4 kids, and then they put her in the center. So she was so bored that she started acting like a dog, like barking to people. And
I
then,
like tied myself with like
and
something
then
to
and
make
then
me-
she got the blocks, and she wrote, "I am bored."
Yeah, it's so real.
Estoy aburrida.
So
Yeah.
I took her to the
I got sent to the principal's office for that.
no to the I took her to this psychologist pediatrician expert in Caracas, and so and,
Dr.
and
Navarro.
he tells me like because she's under 6, so there's like sets of tests when you're under 6 and then when you're over 6. So he gives her the under 6, and she's like So he immediately read her face and gave her the over six.
Yeah.
And she's like 4.5 or something. And so she started doing the test and all of that, and then he comes to me and he tells me, like, you need to change her to a different school. Because she's clearly not
super
motivated. And she is very well articulated. And she wrote, I am bored. The teachers,
I express my needs. I express my
the
feelings.
teachers don't understand it.
They
She's
four.
clearly, this is like amazing.
Yeah.
For a,
No, it's very advanced.
yeah, exactly. For a
Yeah.
5-something-year-old.
And did
So-
she put the blocks in Spanish, right?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, of course.
Imagine you start doing English.
They're like,
I
what?
space.
Yeah. So I had, and this is like October or something, and she's like 9 months or something like that. 5, 8 months, whatever. And so I started scrambling like crazy because I had to change her to a different school.
Right. You had to.
But yeah, and we did.
And we did, and that was a great school because I remember being able to read all of the time. Yeah. That was so much fun.
It was an American school.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We know how to do
You
it.
said that you guys had camp.
Seriously, so funny and also shocking and not surprising that I learned to read on my own. I didn't know that necessarily at this point until this point, but I was reflecting with Alicia later, and I just remember telling her, like, I don't remember ever being taught how to read, or like I don't remember ever being in a moment where I was learning to read. It felt like I've just always have been able to, and from a very, very young age. But yes, enjoy this next part. This is my dad's first impression of me and some other funny stories, like I was saying. Have fun.
It was an amazing party.
See, what is my first impression? It's like when I met her. What did I think?
Yeah, like what were your first thoughts of your daughter? Like you, like was it just like a, all right, I have a daughter, kid number 2, or what was your thought? You know?
So, or just some thoughts that you formed when Maddie had an identity, like your first-
No,
like
the,
first
the,
got
the
online.
very first thing
First
that
memories of me.
shocked me. That's what I'm gonna say.
It's a very specific word.
I barely get sick. It's hardly get sick. But I was sick one time in our little apartment, and I slept, like the door is here, and I slept on this side of the bed, so she had to come.
Oh, I know this story.
So she came. I always spoke English to them. I mean, nothing in Spanish.
In Venezuela?
since-
Yeah, to make sure
everybody
that
was
they
born. But we didn't know we were gonna live here.
Yeah.
Just that's the only
For them to have English.
Yeah, you speak
And
it.
he would say they didn't speak Spanish, so we had to speak English.
Yeah, so you don't understand, go to your mom and then she'll talk Spanish.
What?
And, in the
So
car.
that's good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why do you only know water?
So every time I put them to bed, I say, sleep tight, don't let the bugs bite.
The bed bugs, right?
The bed bugs. Right?
Bueno, nosotros hacíamos de bugs.
They would just say
We
bugs.
didn't talk about bed bugs.
Yeah,
Ah,
we don't.
okay.
I don't even
That's
know
also
what
funny because I would tell Anita that, and she's like, bugs. Like, which bugs?
any bugs.
Yeah,
I know.
all bugs.
We're in the Caribbean. We're not. Bed bugs is too exclusive.
Yeah, it's the scorpions,
So yeah,
tarantulas.
So she came. I think I don't know. You told her, hey, go say good night to your dad.
Yeah.
So she came to me, give me a kiss, and then she left. And I was saying, sleep tight.
Yeah.
Don't sleep tight. And then she turned around, and I couldn't say the rest. She just left, and then she turned around and said, "Don't let the bugs bite." And I'm like, "What? This is working?" Oh my god!
She's like, less than 2.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
She was like, "Don't let bugs bite."
Yeah.
It's like I got you. Yeah. So cute.
So I kept on going with English.
I want to say something that was also impressive for Maria in her relationship with her dad. She's also less than 3 years old. She's already in this preschool, in her first year in the preschool. And he's driving. And she asked her dad.
I love the story too.
You already know that one?
No, you just told me this story last year. So yeah, no, do it again, please. It's such a good story.
I don't know.
Here we go.
You don't know the story. Okay, so her dad is driving them to preschool, or her. I don't know if Pablo was in the car. I don't know.
No.
So she asks him, Papi, do monsters exist? And he says, of course not. Why would monsters don't exist? And you know, like,
Blah, blah, blah.
yeah. And then when he finished his explanation, she says, and why does the word monster exist? He's like, she's not even 3. Okay? She's not even 3 years old.
It's like crazy. Philosophy now.
Yeah.
You know what your first word was?
So funny. My family tells that story all the time. And I mean, that's an insane question to ask for a 3-year-old. So, you know, pretty impressed with myself. What can I say? But yes, this is the last part of this birthday brunch where you hear me answering some of these questions, specifically what was my first impression of myself. So have fun.
Cute. This was so much fun. Thank you guys all thanks for asking questions. Should I answer the questions?
Wait, do you have an impression of yourself from the past? I'm just curious now.
I was trying to think about it. I don't know. Like, I'm trying.
It could even be like, I feel like I definitely had a season where my identity was like, I'm like Ricky's sister.
I feel like,
or has it changed? Like, has your view of yourself changed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like one of my first like memories where I was like very self-aware was when I was at the American school and we were doing like a cursive class and we hadn't learned cursive yet at Los Campitos because apparently these classes were for fucking babies and I was like, what the hell?
You were like, whatever.
And the I was like a swoop, you know, so it kind of looked like a J backwards, and so I didn't understand what I was looking at. And I remember like raising, like it was like the cursive was being projected on the screen, the lights were low, and I raised my hand and I was like, is that an I? Like, what am I looking at? Like, what? Because we were supposed to be like tracing or whatever, and she was like I don't know, she was just like, it's an I, like, what, am I stupid? Like, and I was just like, am I, like, my impression of myself was like, am I a troublemaker for like asking a genuine question that I'm confused about? Like that was like, I had that memory very clearly.
Yeah, in Episcopal.
No, what? I was 6 in Washington. Yeah, that was like, and then I immediately, like, the nice thing about that school, Academia Washington, like what I remember was like there were 2 classrooms next to each other, and then over here there was like a space where they would meet, and there was like a wall of a library, and then there was like the girls' bathroom and the boys' bathroom, and my greatest joy was just going over here and picking out a new book and like taking and reading it. So I think I like, maybe I just like, I think I just have a memory of myself as like a imaginative kid, you know, just I just wanted to be lost in like my own imagination and like stories.
You were like like a library
bookworm, yeah, a library fiend. Yeah.
It was
merchant. Yeah, I was I was a book merchant. Let's do a group high five. That was so fun. Thank you, Alicia, for the questions.
How are you guys coming?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
At
go.
this point, I'll have to go pick up.
And that's it. That's the end of the raw audio of my 30th birthday brunch with one of my best friends, Alicia, my entire family, my 3 brothers and my 2 parents, and one of my little brother's longtime girlfriends, Quinn. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let's hop back to recording in the closet Maria from 2 days ago. So thank you, Alicia, if you're listening, for creating such a nice birthday conversation. Highly recommend having focused discussions like that. This is a total sidebar, but I really love when there's a focused discussion at if there's a group table situation, like a group dinner. I love having a focused discussion. I love when everyone is focused on a certain topic rather than there being like different sidebar conversations happening or just like one person telling a whatever story and them like sort of dominating the conversation. Like I love when everyone gets an equal chance to like talk about the same topic and like put in their insights on whatever it is that we're talking about. And actually one of those things that I did recently to create this was for the family for Christmas. I got all my family their individual Christmas gifts, and then as like a family gift, I got this card deck called Parents Are Human, and it's questions to ask your parents to get to know them better. And the questions are like, what was the hardest time of your life? Or who's the teacher that had the most influence on you? Or What's the greatest piece of advice you've ever received? Things like that, so that all of us can like get to know our parents better, and then we can also answer the questions ourselves. And it's been so fun. My mom's out of town right now, so it's just me and my dad in the house right now. But we've been doing the card deck, and we've did it a couple times with my mom, and it's just been so nice. I love a focused discussion. So either get a friend like Alicia, or create the conversation yourself, create the questions yourself, or get a card deck. The card deck is really helpful. Actually, Santi and Quinn, one of my brothers and his girlfriend, they have a conversation starter card deck on their actual table as well, which I really love too, and I didn't know they had that, and we had a lot of fun with it. When we went and had dinner with them, one of my brothers just answered all the questions on his own and didn't give anyone else a chance to. He just went through and was like interviewing himself using the card decks. It was hysterical. Anyway, so that was my 30th birthday. So I'm 30. Hey, let's fucking go. Dirty 30. Very exciting. I love an even year. Particularly this is so interesting too, because Pluto just made its shift into Aquarius, like on the day that the sun was going into Aquarius. And now I've officially had Pluto in all of my big 3 signs. You know, it's just like, it's just a vibe. I love the number 4. I love an even year. I love a decade chapter. So anyway, huge vibe. So that was my 30th birthday. And then a week later, I went to Salt Lake City. So it's just so psychotic. So if we want to do a little recap, you know, first week of December, had a visitor. Second week of December, had a visitor and moved to Boston. Then immediately went to Mexico City. Then it was immediately Christmas. A week later, went to San Diego. A week later, had my 30th birthday. And then a week after that, went to Salt Lake City. So it's just been, this is why I have not been able to record a podcast. There's just been so much going on. But yeah, I went to Salt Lake City the second week of January. So just 2-ish weeks ago or whatever. Yeah, 2 weeks ago exactly, for my coach Kinsey's workshop. She was running an all-day workshop on, Saturday on the 12th on, setting goals, business, trusting yourself. She does a lot of psyche, journaling, meditation, things like that. It was fucking awesome. And like I was saying, my big reason for leaving Boston is to essentially find and connect with even more spiritual entrepreneurial community. And so of course, when this opportunity for this workshop came up, I was like, absolutely. I've been to Kinsey's live events before. I love the community that she's created. I love her. And so it was just obvious that I was going to go. And I had the best time. And I got to connect with so many people in real life, people that we had been in like Kinsey's courses together, or we had connected in some other way and just were both like followers of Kinsey or whatnot. Got to room with one of them, which was so great. And it just affirmed what I want to do this year, which is to invest in community. So I've already signed up for like another workshop and like a membership style thing too. So really, really excited about that. So that was great. Lots of huge breakthroughs during the Salt Lake City workshop. I might share some of that on Instagram or something like that. I can't think of anything crazy right now that would add tons to this conversation, but it was just a really reaffirming workshop. And right before, I had been in sort of a weird place around business and the New Year's. Like I had been feeling excited and refreshed and renewed after the San Diego Music Festival and that class, and then my birthday and all of that. But I was still sort of like, getting back into work, trying to pick up the pace again and sort of get back into that full boogie, as my therapist calls it, full boogie schedule, pacing. And yeah, going to Salt Lake City and being surrounded by really talented women, really successful entrepreneurs. I mean, I was in a room with really successful people, was exactly the sort of energy that I needed to like, okay, I got this. Like, I feel good. I trust in myself. Like, we can fucking go. And yeah, it was awesome. And that was 2 weeks ago. And since then, I've been in Houston and I have been in the full boogie pace of work and workout. I, work-wise, during Salt Lake City, opened up readings again and immediately booked like 10 or something like that. So I've had tons of readings these past 2 weeks with some like really awesome people, which has been amazing. I hosted a free masterclass called 100K Reader, a practical roadmap to making 6 figures as an astromancer. So if you're a human design, gene keys, or astrology reader, highly recommend that masterclass. It was awesome. I'm going to do a whole podcast episode answering some business questions for you, and also including a really high vibe, like, rant that I did in that masterclass, which was just everything. So, but it's free, so you can just sign up for it already. It'll be in the linked in the show notes below, of course. And what else have I done? Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, so lots of work stuff, getting back into content creation, getting back into everything. I spent about a week after my birthday to backtrack a little bit, redoing my Notion system. So I run my entire life on Notion. If you don't know what Notion is, you need to. It's linked below. Use Notion. I'll link some YouTube videos of people that I love using Notion below as well. Let me write all this stuff down so I don't forget. But yeah, it's like, LOL, I went to write down to myself to not forget to record, to link the Notion thing, and I stopped recording. So now we're back, immediately back. Brief 5-second break, 1 second for you. But yeah, I spent some time completely redoing my Notion system, which is like a task manager, calendar, project manager system. And not only redoing the task management side of it, which is like my homepage essentially for my life, but also my business back end, and actually spending the time to create New Year's goals, which I actually didn't do last year. I don't even think I did the year before either. I don't really think I definitely did not have very clear goals for 2022 or 2023, and it felt so good. I will link the video of the creator that I used her system to do this. Again, like I'm telling you, I like to be sort of guided a little bit through the goal setting process. But I am so glad I took that time to set goals for the year. I feel so clear. I feel the clearest I've really ever been, I would say, on like goals and goal setting. I'll share some of them here in a second. But yeah, then I went to Salt Lake City and then came back to Houston and immediately started picking up the pace into that like full boogie workout. So, work towards my goals, get back into business. So doing tons of readings. I taught a whole module on astrology for my Gene Key certification, style reader training. It was a whole module on astrology. Taught a whole free masterclass, 100K Reader. Opened up Readings on Repeat, which is my reading business course, teaching you how to start and scale an astromancy business. So if you're a human design, Gene Keys, or astrology reader, 100% for you. Also will be linked below. And that's been the past 2 weeks. And then the working out thing has been so fun. So one of my goals this year is literally, it just says get ripped. If you don't know my background, I used to dance like 6 hours a day in my whole life, like all the way up till high school. By the time I graduated high school, I was in 4 different dance companies competing. One of them was professional, aka I was like getting paid. And I went to Boston University because they had a really good marine science program and a really good dance program. And then after that, during my time at BU, I took a semester off to go to Houston to do a yoga teacher training with my yoga instructor, Andrew, who I've talked about millions of times, and we'll have him on the podcast very soon because he is when my parents and I were doing who's the teacher that has most influenced you in your life, it was obviously Andrew. I've been training with him since I was 16. He has been that's almost half my life. Like, he has been the mentor for me. So I can't wait to like introduce you guys to him and his style of yoga called Yoga Better, which is the world's best kept fucking secret. Everyone needs to go check it out. Also linked below. But why was I talking about this? Oh yeah, get ripped. My goal is to get ripped. So I used to be very ripped, and I'm not saying I'm comparing my 30-year-old body now to my 16-year-old body because that's not fucking fair. But I know myself to have quite a bit of muscle, and during the pandemic I did absolutely zero exercise and have been building it back up for the last 2 years since I've been in Boston. And yeah, my working out in Houston is super accessible. So the universe came through and sent me some fun stuff. So I've been doing the Soul Cycle promotion of 2 weeks, like unlimited classes, and that's been super fun, which if you know Soul Cycle pricing, you know how insane that promotion is. So I've been doing lots of Soul Cycle. I've been going to Andrew's yoga studio, Yoga Better, quite a lot, and reconnecting with all my yoga friends here. It's been so much fun. Yoga community, it's been great. And I started private lessons with Andrew, which has been so fun. We had our first one this morning, and like so good to have like a master's eyes, giving you feedback and supporting you. So anyway, it's just been a dream, and I feel the best I've felt in literally years getting back into yoga better, which is a magical style of yoga. And by magical, I mean extremely practical and anatomy based, but that's its magic. I hope you can hear my dog snoring in the background, by the way. She's just fully out. But yeah, so, and then going to Soul Cycle at 6:30 in the morning like a fucking crazy person. It's just been absolutely insane. I have had to take a lot of naps, but I feel so good. So that's one of my goals for this year, become ripped. And that just, to me, means just build a ton of muscle. So I'm excited about that. I already feel the muscle back coming through, baby. Another one of my goals, and this one I discovered in San Diego, was to meditate every day. And in particular, why that's a goal, or rather that's just the method to the goal. The goal essentially is to become so psychic that I could actually do psychic readings for a living. Like to actually become so proficient in my intuition that I could actually just live off of that skill alone. Because I am quite intuitive and get quite a lot of downloads and have been working on my psychic skills for the last couple of years, but haven't like really dedicated the time that I want to it. So yeah, that's one of my goals. And it was fun to talk to Chloe about it the next day, because she gave me so many cool resources, magic schools, things like that, which has been great. So I've actually have been meditating every single day, which has been amazing. And then my other goal, like I was saying, is community, specifically spiritual entrepreneurial community, and like people who are doing like different things, as a not just spiritual entrepreneurial community, but also like tech community, because I have a software startup. I have an app. It's called the Cosmic Compendium. You should go check it out. It's for human design and Gene Keys professionals. And oh my gosh, my dog's snores are just out of this world. I hope you can hear them. They're so funny. But yeah, so community is another one of my goals. And it's hard to like, how do you quantify that goal in like a measurable way? But I'm not trying to quantify it necessarily, other than the feeling. I just want to feel surrounded all the time by successful, ambitious, soul-sourced entrepreneurs. And my method of doing that is investing in community, investing in workshops, investing in things like that. So those are some of my goals for the year. I have a lot of business projects, things I want to create, and I have financial goals and things like that as well, personal goals. So it's been really fun. Definitely follow, or definitely check out the video linked below by Jules Acree on YouTube for her goal setting notion. That is amazing. So that leads us to today, my friends. We're here. It is Friday night. We are in the middle of a Readings on Repeat open cart, which is so exciting. If you have any questions about it, let me know. It's on early bird right now until January 31st. You can save 20% off by putting the code 2024 vibes, all caps. And I actually have I have so many episodes planned for you. Like, oh, so exciting. The next episode will be a whole breakdown of the process of creating Readings on Repeat, which to this day, like I think even more so than the compendium maybe, is probably the thing I'm most proudest of having created in my business. And the process of creating it was the most aligned manifesting generator experience that I've ever had. Like, it was so clear cut of like the response and the action taking and all of my energy. It was so perfect as a product that I want to give you that whole backstory so that you can, especially if you're a manifesting generator, but if you work with manifesting generators or other generators, to maybe give them an example to point to, because it's just the process of creating that course was absolutely magical. It was a total vortex. It was insane. So I'm going to do a whole episode on that as well. So can you hear all the episodes that are coming? Not only that, I also am opening up the podcast to guests. Thanks to Rachel, having her on was just so much fun. And I just I obviously considered having guests on the podcast when I wanted to start it, but I was primarily more excited about doing solo episodes. And now I'm just like, oh my God, no, guests, that's like another place where it's at. So I actually have another guest coming on next week, Eric Roberts, a human design, Gene Keys, astrology professional as well, and can't wait to introduce you to him. He's also a 2/5 manifesting generator. So lots of things happening. If you are listening to this and you want to be on the podcast, send me a DM. We can chat and see if it's aligned. But yeah, I have so many things, coming your way. I have so many podcast episodes, so many business projects, so many things to share, so many dumps of all of this stuff. On Instagram, you'll find dumps of moving Boston, like photo dumps, LOL. Photo, like carousels, Mexico City, San Diego, my birthday, Salt Lake City, things like that. You'll get to see pictures of all of that if you follow me. Once they're posted, I'll just link them in the show notes here too, so you can see them. But that is my recap episode. Very rapid fire. I'm very conscious I've been speaking extremely fast on this podcast episode in particular. So, you can always slow me down. I thought this would take like an hour, but I haven't been recording nearly for that long. So anyway, I went rapid fire through this, but all that to say, Happy New Year. I am so excited to be here, so excited to be back. I have so much stuff planned for you, especially with the podcast. I've had so many podcast episode ideas come through. I might just record one every fucking week or something like that. I don't know. But 6 weeks of not being here has, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 7 or 8 weeks, has really built up the dam of podcast episode ideas, and they're now coming out in a flood. As usual, I always want to respond to you. So if you have questions for me or anything like that, any podcast episode requests, things you want me to talk about, please DM me on Instagram over at by Maria Henning. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me over there as well. If we vibe, go check me out. We can connect. Send me a DM. My DMs are always open. My joy is connecting with you. What I thrive off of is community, as you can obviously tell. I literally changed my whole life to seek it out more. My vocation in the Gene Keys is about teamwork. So I thrive in community. I love you. I want to hear from you. Please request things, ask me questions. I would love to support you. I'd love to use the podcast as a place to support you. So go send me a DM. Let's chat. And if you love any of my episodes, it would obviously be amazing for you to share them on your stories too, so other people can find the podcast as well. Tag me, I'll repost you, and be so eternally grateful. But yes, I love you. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year. I want to hear about your goals. We can do another podcast episode on it, on my goals as well. If you'd like, send me any requests, things you heard me say that you want me to talk about. And that is it. I will see you very, very soon on the next episode. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, we'll talk soon. That was so much fun to put together for you. I hope you loved that. And I can't wait to see you in the next episodes. As you can hear, there are a lot coming. And see you maybe in some of my creations, in my masterclasses and my courses and things like that. And maybe even readings. Everything, as usual, will be linked below. All right, my friend, I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, my friend, thanks for joining me on another ride aboard the Shortcuts to Mastery spaceship. You can get started on your human design and Gene Keys journey with me today for free by going to mariahenning.com/chart, which is linked below. If you're a visuals lover as well as an audiophile, then definitely join the party over on Instagram at @ByMariaHenning for lots of fun and beautiful educational content. And to tag me in the stories with the episodes you listen to so I can repost you. And of course, if you're here, you know it totally rocks for podcasts to receive great ratings. So if you're feeling warm and fuzzy and want to share, I'd be eternally grateful. I can't wait to connect again. Thanks for being here. And until next time, here's to everything going easier, better, and faster than expected.